PolicyGuard, a multi-agent pre-deployment audit for medical AI papers. An AI model can achieve excellent accuracy and still be unsafe for the community where it is deployed. A validation paper may exclude older adults, high demographic performance gaps, or assume infrastructure that rural hospitals do not have. Today, PolicyGuard is a pre-deployment decision system for medical AI. It answers two questions: should this medical AI be deployed at all, and should this evidence be applied in a particular community? PolicyGuard transforms limitations buried inside academic papers into grounded population-specific risk scenarios and actionable deployment conditions. The language model identifies risks, but it does not calculate population impact. That calculation is handled by a deterministic simulator using public health and demographic data. So now I'll be demonstrate PolicyGuard using GPT-4o mini with multi-agent and retrieval pipeline. So I'm uploading a paper. There is a multiple backbone model, GPT-4o mini, QN, and RL, and then I use MedlLimagents and RAG agent pipeline. We can use OpenLX, MedlLimagents, and ChatGPT zero shot. And these are the preview, and then after run, it will take some time. You can see after running the multi-agent pipeline, there is a paper preview, and this is the author state limitations, and this is the three text from the RAG database. RAG contains 60,000 PubMed papers, and this is the score. So this is the PolicyGuard score, like how many limitations from PolicyGuard agents, how many limitations from domain and merge, and this is the total deployment risk. And then we can change the acting as a reviewer, editor, and clinician, and these are the limitations. So there are two types of agents. One is PolicyGuard set, so we can see what is the limitations comes from PolicyGuard agents, and PolicyGuard has five different agents, and there are domain set. So domain sets also generating limitations for domain specific, and there are five different LLM agents for domain set. And the third one is the merge from both PolicyGuard and domain set. And as you can see, these are the limitations, and confidence level, and the evidence from these limitations, and source, confidence, and which subgroup affected these limitations. Like this is low income people. Also for each limitations, we can see that the actual limitations evidence and this is the final total number of pending, accepted, dismissed, and how many limitations are sent to authors. Now we can check the evaluation. For evaluation, we can generate multiple type of evaluations here. So first is holistic judge with societal evaluation. This is the ground truth limitations and LLM generated one, and this is the stepwise reward model. So we can run and we can see the evaluation here. We have a fast just score, coverage, specificity, coverall, factual alignment, and those things. Pointwise procession recall and F1 score between LLM generated limitations and ground truth limitations, and we can see how the evaluations goes on. And then reviewer can check which one is a match and which one does not match between the LLM generated and ground truth. And we can see the process reward, process reward, search, read, synthesize, analyze, support, societal discoveries, how many are match and how many grounded. For societal discovery judgment, we can check what is the claim and what is the evidence span from the literature or papers, and we can check the severity and then deployment risk, whether it's valuable or not, reasoning, population impact, and total average severity. And we can see the RAG papers, RAG retrieve papers, and the final key findings. So yeah, so now I'll be then connects the grounded limitations to a SCS demographics, CDC disease prevalence, CDC social vulnerability index data, and hospital risk information. For this finding, the simulator estimates approximately potentially affected patients and scenario range of lower and upper misdiagnosis. So we can check with a particular state and county, and we can run the community card here. The results from the state Alabama and county Jefferson, and we can see what is the evidence, the studies, this is the evidence of this particular community evidence. So this comes from the evidence quality agent, comes from the reach and equity agents, and so on. And finally, we can ask any particular question. We can also check the local data evidence. So this is the local data information, and this is the interpretation about this Jefferson, Alabama. How many people are 81.2% adults have visited a doctor for a routine checkup in the past year, which is slightly above the national average. And we can check the numeric score, BP high, diabetes PCT for this particular area. We can check the census data, how many populations are there, and then poverty rate and other informations. And these are numeric metrics, hospital data. We can check the other more information. So we can particularly ask any questions in this community, answer of these questions for this community. And then later we can compare what's the performance of this our LLM approach compared to the ChatGPT zero shot ChatGPT. After comparison between ChatGPT zero shot and our LLM agents, we can see the difference. We can see how many limitations are generated by ChatGPT and our approach, and what is the risk assessment of and it does not show any evidence or anything, but in our approach it shows the evidence to prevent the hallucination. So and it will generate answer. So this is the answer of this question, and then it will generate is a decision support, not an autonomous regulator and not a clinical predictor. It uses public aggregate data rather than patient level information. Evidence remains well. The population figures are transparent, conditional, and scenarios, not causal forecasts. So the cost of doing nothing is waiting until a medical AI falls in the real world before asking who was excluded. PolicyGuard moves that question upstream, before procurement, before deployment, and before harm. It transforms academic evidence into population consequences and community action. Because accuracy tells us how a model performed yesterday, PolicyGuard asks who carries the risks tomorrow. Thank you so much.